prior to today's game, ninth. And that got me thinking, like, how much has things changed? Well, it really hasn't changed that much. In fact, I had to go, as a stats guy, I had to go back and look this up, and this is basically where we've been sitting as far as, you know, the positions in the MLS Western Conference standings. And basically what I want to bring up is we've been sitting in ninth for a majority of the season. In fact,
that's pretty good.
Pretty much the entire second half of the season, the Minnesota United have been in ninth place. There's been a couple peaks and valleys, if you want to say that, but it's basically ninth all the way across.
Well, look back here, we were in second place back there.
Well, that was week 3. And ever since then, it's kind of been downhill.
So July 23rd, we jumped up to 7th.
So there was a little bit of hope, and I think I remember that.
That was the
too.
home stretch.
Yeah, it was. We were kind of. I think we talked about on the podcast. It was we had to win these games against these teams to get up into the playoffs, and then we decided to take a fall.
And I mean, that's why I look at this, you know, our podcast. We're not here trying to, like, you know, prop up the United. It is what it is. It's amazing that we've had, you know, as much to talk about that we have had, though.
Well, I think it's one of those things where you could talk about a team like the United because they've been losing so much, you know, or the fact that they've been so different. They've had a lot of home victories, and they've had a great home record and a terrible away record. You know, it's one of those things. It's one of those weird things about this year. It's been, I don't know how to put it. I mean, last year we knew inaugural season, you're not going to be great. Atlanta was, because they spent money. We talked about this before numerous times. So we knew last year was not going to be great. But this year we thought maybe we could kind of step it up a little bit.
And this is only their, you know, second full year in the MLS, but is it an accomplishment to say that, the Minnesota United were not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs until the first week of October? Is that saying something, or is that not saying something?
Well, they allow, it's half the conference gets into the playoffs, so...
Yeah. We did win more games than last year.
Well, one
game.
Well, and with 2 games to go.
That's progress, Dave. That's progress.
I don't argue that.
So we have a downer last weekend. So then we go into today's game against Colorado Rapids, who've been with the league since the beginning of the league, 96, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And Colorado is what? Aren't they below us in the standings in the Western Conference?
They were, yes.
They were on a 7-game losing streak. And what do we do today, boys?
Well, we didn't
laid
win.
Laid another egg.
But I said this to Dave while we were sitting in our seats. The United almost tied the game 2-2. It was almost a 2-2 final.
Yeah. I mean, they had... I watched the first half, and then I had to come over here, so I listened to the second half. They had 2 goals called back. VAR came into play. Both goals came back. Accurate. Yeah. They had some chances in the first half. Darwin missed a couple of chances.
Yeah.
Which is rare for Darwin.
Eric Miller had a couple crosses. A couple of Eric's crosses were to nobody, but he did have one. Eric crossed it in, I think it was in the late first half.
Darwin missed the header.
And he put it on Darwin's foot.
Yeah.
Literally on his foot, and he put it over the goal.
Yeah.
Well, there was one. It was somebody crossed it in. Darwin missed the header.
Yeah. Well,
and then Angelo Rodriguez had pretty much a goal.
Tony, maybe you had a better view of it than we did, but from my perspective, I wouldn't say that Darwin missed a header. I would say it was crossed. If he was 3 inches taller, he might have had a chance.
Darwin's a short guy, though.
He is.
It's always funny, little background information for anybody who's listening. It's always funny to watch the opening of the game because they show the players coming out with the kids.
Yeah. He looks like
and Darwin looks like he might be 2 inches taller than the kid he's with.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, holy jeez, the guy's a midget.
Yeah, he's small. Yeah, you know, I think we had a lot of missed opportunities. You know, I think Ibarra had a cross that ended up being deflected into Howard, so it almost looked like a goal.
Yeah.
Or a shot opportunity. You know, we had Miller had one just almost exactly like that. We were really flat in the first half.
We didn't look good
I mean,
in the first
it
half.
just kind of looked odd. It's one of those things where you go back to the depth.
Yep.
So I had a coworker with me.
Yeah.
He's never been to a United game, but he played soccer for 15 years.
Yeah.
So he knows soccer. He's never been to a United game, though. And he kept saying over and over, well, some of these guys don't really look like they're that good. He's like, I've seen some college games that the players look better than these. And I kept saying, well, you know what? Actually, some of these guys are bench players.
And we were playing a lot of backup guys today because the fact is guys were missing. We're missing Calvo's out.
Romario Ibarra.
Romario Ibarra.
Just correct me if I'm wrong, Dave. Is Calvo on international duty?
Yes.
And I believe Romario is also
he was on international duty, but he did not go because of his leg injury.
Okay. All right.
I
didn't know about that.
Schuler was with the Finnish team.
Yep.
And then Bobby's got the back problem,
right,
which is why we saw Lampson today.
Which, by the way, Lampson wasn't great.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't fault him for anything.
But
except for the second one.
Were his clearances better, though, than Bobby's?
Actually, no.
Do you think that the coaches on United train these guys to be bad clearance goalies or what?
I think they should consider a new goalie coach.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where the depth concern was a major issue in this game.
It was, pretty much.
And, my God, Alexi Gomez.
Do you really want to talk about him? Do you really want to talk about Alexi Gomez?
I have to, because the guy is terrible.
Yeah, he is.
I can't imagine. I bet when he left wherever he was, people cheered.
They're like, bye.
Unless the league that he was in, and I cannot remember where he played.
I don't know either, but...
unless that league is just really bad. The dude is awful. I think he was the worst guy on the field.
He almost scored a goal early today.
Yeah, Don't prop him up, Dave.
Positive, optimistic.
Don't prop him up.
Well, I'm pretty sure you can hear the sarcasm in my voice.
Yeah,
can you not?
Yeah.
Obviously you have to be careful because you said that if he showed progress, you'd get a tattoo.
Has he showed progress
No.
yet? No. And I'm right about that. He's not going to show progress. He's not going to be in his team next year. He shouldn't be on this team next year.
Well, thankfully he's a loanee. So
yeah,
I don't think
they're not going to pick him up.
I would hope
they're going to say bye-bye. See you later. Our buddy Maximiano decided to get another yellow card. I think he collects them. I do. I think he's got a collection of yellow cards. I think after the game he goes and gets it signed by the ref, and he puts it up on his wall.
He might. So I don't remember if this happened before the podcast. No, last episode. It happened after last episode.
Yeah.
Maximiano has had 2 suspensions for accumulation.
Yeah.
The dude hasn't even barely played enough time.
I know.
And yet somehow he's managed to have 2 suspensions for accumulation.
He's going for number 3 next week. He's going for number 3.
I don't think that's mathematically possible. I like the guy because he does seem like maybe there's something there.
He's got something.
Yeah.
But he makes some really bad fouls.
And speaking of which, I did some field research to show how we have fared with Maximiano and Bob compared to not having him. And so now you can't see this because you're not looking at
other side of the table, yeah.
But Dave can vouch for me. So this right here, these are all the passes. This was of course I didn't. This was the San Jose game, I believe. See all these passes in the middle of the pitch? Completed passes. This was the Kansas City, Sporting Kansas City game. All those passes. Now watch last week's game with Max and Bob in the midfield. There's a big hole.
There is. There's clearly a hole.
When Bob and Max are in, the teams can't pass in the midfield as much as they'd like to.
Well, there you go.
And this is a snapshot of the passes from last week's game.
Yeah.
And even with a 5-1 scoreline, the midfield is wide open.
Yeah.
And it's a bright spot. And it's something that, do you take the bad, those yellow cards?
Yeah.
Know that in 6 games you're not going to have Max because he's going to be suspended. Do you take that and say, it could be worse?
It could be, yeah.
He's clearly doing his job because teams are having a difficult time passing, doing complete passes in the midfield.
Well, it's kind of like a baseball thing. Guy has a low batting average, but he hits a home run every 7 or 8 at bats. Do you take the low average for the home run, for the big play?
Yeah.
And most teams do that nowadays.
Yeah. Well, I remember back in the 90s. Was it the 90s? Yeah. Milwaukee had Rob Deere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The dude would hit like 30 home runs.
Yeah.
But he'd strike out like 250 times in a season.
By the way, we're off the beaten path a little bit. Dave Sterling is a Wisconsinite.
Yes.
And the Brewers being in the NLCS.
Yeah.
Were you excited last night?
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah, I want to bring this up.
Dave texted me.
Yeah.
What was it, the 7th inning?
I think it was just going into the 8th inning. And I was texting you because we were both obviously going to go to the game tomorrow. And I kind of wanted to know what the plan was. And before I talked about our plans for today, I said, your Brewers are looking pretty good. Because at the time it was 6-1.
Yeah.
They were cruising. Somehow they banged up Clayton Kershaw in the 4th inning.
Yeah.
They got him out of the game.
He's terrible in the playoffs.
He historically, yes, but in the NLDS this year, Clayton was unhittable,
he was,
basically. And so I thought going into Game 1 of the championship series here in the National League, I thought, okay, the Brewers aren't going to really have much of a chance, but they knocked him out in the 4th inning. Yeah. And so I think when I texted Dave, it was just going into the 8th inning, and I said, well, your Brewers are looking good, 6-1. Hey, where do you want to meet tomorrow? What's the plan?
Yeah.
And then I kind of felt guilty, and I told him at the game today, I said, I think I almost jinxed them because
they came back.
They came back. It was 6-5 final.
It's currently 2-0.
Yeah, and
Milwaukee.
But the fact that there was a Woodruff, their pitcher, hit a home run off of Kershaw.
Yeah.
In this series, that's just crazy.
I don't know. I was telling Dave that it would be fantastic to see them go to the World Series, obviously, because I was 2 when they did it last time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I don't think they'd survive in the World Series against any of the teams.
Not against the Sox. The Red Sox are going to go, and the Red Sox are like, oof.
But, I'll take a pennant.
Yeah.
I take a pennant.
Now, this is just to give you an update. As long as for our benefit only, not for our listeners, but the Brewers are actually up 2-0 here.
Yeah,
in the bottom of the 5th.
So there you go. Yeah. Dave Sterling is missing this game to do this podcast.
So I attempted to jinx the Brewers once again. By telling Dave that they're winning the game.
But as I told you at the game, I almost prefer them to lose a game here because they're 12 straight right now.
I think the Major League postseason has seen runs like this before. I want to say the Colorado Rockies went on an amazing run like that.
Yeah.
So there's something to be said. You don't want to give up the mojo or whatever you want to call it.
No, it's a whole... you get on that streak, and it's like, you just got it.
But to your point, Dave, it's a 7-game series,
and obviously it'd be nice to get through to LA and then lose.
Yeah.
Get through home, but my God.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I could probably keep talking baseball for the rest of the podcast.
We can't, though. We can't.
It's a winning streak we'll never have to worry about with the Wolves.
I have to
well,
admit, like I've been